Mental noise is not the same as anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling. Mental noise is a condition. It's what happens when your mind is asked to process too much, for too long, without pause. Too many signals, too many inputs, too many decisions layered on top of one another. Even on days when nothing is wrong, the mind can feel crowded, restless, and unable to settle. Most people assume this noise comes from worrying too much, but often it comes from something more subtle: constant processing. In modern life, the mind rarely gets a break. Notifications interrupt thought before it finishes forming. Choices appear before the previous one has been resolved. Information keeps arriving, whether it's needed or not. The mind stays slightly open at all times, scanning, filtering, responding. Over time, this becomes exhausting. In Japan, there is a quiet awareness of this problem, and instead of trying to calm the mind directly, many Japanese habits focus on reducing the sources of mental noise before they pile up. The goal is not silence. The goal is relief. The first habit is fewer daily decisions. Decision fatigue is one of the most underestimated sources of mental strain. Choosing what to wear, what to eat, how to respond, and what to prioritize drains attention faster than most people realize. Each decision may seem small, but together they create constant friction. In Japan, daily life often minimizes unnecessary choice. Wardrobes are simpler. Meals follow familiar patterns. Routines repeat. This is not about limitation. It is about conservation. When fewer decisions are required, the mind stays clearer. Emotional reactions soften. Patience increases. Mental space opens, not because the mind is being controlled, but because it is being protected. The second habit is visual simplicity. The eyes are one of the fastest paths into the mind. Every object in view asks for a fraction of attention, even if you are not consciously aware of it. Visual clutter creates cognitive clutter. Japanese environments tend to reduce this demand. Spaces are not empty, but they are intentional. Fewer objects, clear surfaces, thoughtful placement, nothing shouting for attention. When the visual field quiets, the mind follows. It no longer needs to sort, categorize, and ignore at the same time. Focus becomes easier. Rest becomes deeper. The mental background noise lowers without effort. The third habit is clear transitions. In many modern lifestyles, one activity bleeds into the next. Work messages during dinner, news before sleep, social media during moments of rest. Emotional states are dragged from one context into another without pause. In Japan, transitions are treated with care. There is a clear shift between outside and inside, work and home, activity and rest. Shoes come off, clothing changes, movements slow. These actions tell the nervous system that something has ended, and that matters. You can feel the difference most clearly in moments that are usually ignored. The walk between places, the pause before speaking, the few seconds after finishing one task and before starting another. In many environments, these moments are erased. A phone comes out. Attention is pulled forward before the mind has time to close what came before. In Japan, these in-between moments are often left intact. There is time to arrive, time to pause, time to mentally place one experience down before picking up the next. The mind needs closure to stay quiet. When experiences overlap without resolution, mental noise builds. Thoughts remain open. Emotions linger. Attention fragments. The mind keeps running not because it wants to, but because it hasn't been allowed to stop. If your mind feels noisy, the problem may not be your thinking. It may be the volume of your life. The fourth habit is low-noise social spaces. Public environments in Japan tend to be emotionally neutral. People speak quietly. Movement is orderly. There is little pressure to perform, impress, or assert presence. This matters more than it seems. When social spaces are low noise, the mind does not need to stay alert for conflict, comparison, or interruption. Emotional energy is preserved. The nervous system remains stable. Calm becomes possible, not because people are withdrawn, but because social friction is reduced. Another subtle contributor to mental noise is the pressure to constantly react. In many cultures, quick responses are expected. Messages should be answered immediately. Opinions should be formed instantly. Silence is often interpreted as disengagement. In Japan, delayed response is normal. People are allowed to take time, to think, to respond when ready. This reduces internal urgency. When you are not required to react immediately, the mind does not stay half open, waiting for the next demand. Attention can fully return to the present moment instead of hovering in anticipation. The fifth habit is limited input. In many cultures, constant input is treated as normal. Music playing at all times, content filling every gap, news delivered endlessly, silence avoided. In Japan, input is often limited by design. Sound is used sparingly. Entertainment has boundaries. There are moments when nothing is added. These moments allow the mind to digest what it has already received. Emotions process, thoughts settle, the internal backlog clears. Mental noise decreases not because something new is added, but because nothing is. The sixth habit is rhythm over stimulation. Modern life often relies on stimulation to stay engaged. Bright visuals, strong emotions, fast pacing, constant novelty. This keeps attention awake, but it also keeps the nervous system activated. Japanese habits favor rhythm instead. Predictable pace, repetition, gentle variation within familiar structure. Rhythm is soothing to the brain. It creates safety. It allows attention to rest rather than chase. There is also a cultural comfort with repetition that supports this quiet. Repeating the same route, eating familiar meals, following established routines. In many modern settings, repetition is avoided. It is seen as boredom or stagnation. But to the nervous system, repetition is stabilizing. It reduces uncertainty. It builds safety. It allows attention to rest. This is why Japanese habits often feel grounding rather than stimulating. Taken together, these habits form a quiet system. They do not promise clarity. They do not demand discipline. They do not require motivation. They simply reduce the number of things asking for your attention. And when attention is no longer under constant pressure, mental noise has less space to exist. This is why calm in Japan often feels unforced. People are not trying to silence their thoughts. They are living in ways that do not provoke them. If your mind feels noisy, the problem may not be you. It may be that your life is too loud, too much input, too many decisions, too few boundaries. Japanese habits offer a different approach, not by fixing the mind, but by designing daily life, so the mind does not have to work so hard, and when life becomes quieter, the mind follows.